You ever just die in a horrific accident and then wake up in some fantasy land where everybody's boobs are huge? I mean, eyes are huge. We know that feeling too, which is why this month is Isekai month. That's right. We're going to be dedicating this whole month to the fantastical anime genre that makes way too much content. There are so many Isekais. Oh my god. But we narrowed it down to just 4 this month that we found interesting or stupid enough to watch the first 3 episodes of and talk about. Enjoy, everybody. Happy Isekai month.
It's bad. Anime.
Hello, everybody. I'm John.
My name's Rob.
And this is Isekai month. The month where we decide, is this Isekai bad? Yay. Actually, yay.
Not bad, not
that
bad.
That was fun. We did our first episode last week on Cheat Skill, and now we have returned for our second episode of Isekai month. And the episode is a very long, although not as long, title.
Not as bad. No, not at all.
Why RAELIANA would fuck that name.
It is a hot name.
Hot name, great name. Why RAELIANA ended up at the Duke's mansion.
And her parents call her Rayleigh, which is really cute, too. I'm like, God.
Really nice nickname.
Fucking RAELIANA.
Love that name.
That's a beautiful name.
Awesome name. I would do lots of nice things to that name.
I want that name to do nice things to me.
Yeah. Take it to dinner. Show it a good time. Buy it the shrimp cocktail, even though I know it's extra.
I fucking love shrimp cocktail, dude.
You do?
Yeah.
I didn't know this about you.
I just had this.
You're a shrimp cocktail guy this whole time?
Yeah.
You've been keeping your shrimp cocktail inside your pants this whole time and haven't even let it out once?
I've let it out a few times now, Sailor. I think you just turned a blind eye.
Boy, do I remember those.
What the fuck are we talking?
We're talking about RAELIANA ending up at the Duke's mansion because this
This was a very fun watch, I gotta say.
I'm screwing the pooch here.
Oh, God.
Going early. I loved this.
Really?
I loved this show.
Really?
I thought this show was fucking great. You know why?
Why?
You know why?
Why?
Because I've watched Bridgerton.
Oh, okay.
And that's the whole this show is Bridgerton in anime form.
I don't know what that is.
Bridgerton is a Netflix show. Came out a few years ago. Also, kind of like it's very, very similar to a Downton Abbey.
Okay.
It's like that old English royalty, like very proper, like there's like a
Prim proper power struggles.
Prim proper power struggles. There's a mystery there. There's a few things going on. There's a duke. There's all this stuff you have to learn about, like, what's the hierarchy of this?
It's Game of Thrones without the blood and titties.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just the drama and just like the politics of everything, and like, this family versus this family versus that family, but who is to be married? It's really classic English drama kind of stuff in anime form, which I have not seen before.
Right. And
I was extremely pleased with how it came out.
Yeah, wow. You're coming in hot with your opinions already.
I know, coming in hot. But the thing was, this is, at the end of the day, an isekai.
Yes.
And how we get isekai'd is that the main character is pushed off of a roof.
But in the best scenario, she's on top of the roof contemplating life because no university is letting her in.
Yes.
She sees a dude and she's like, oh, hey. She pulls out her phone and goes, I've been accepted to a school. This is the best day of my life. Starts spinning around. And while it happens, a dude just pushes her off the roof. It's like, guess someone hates higher education. I
guess. She had to pay for that probably. So,
yeah.
I mean, oh my God. But yeah, she gets pushed off the roof by this guy that we don't know. He's a mystery. It's a mystery.
Evolution is a mystery. Yeah, I'm taking full advantage of the fact we're still in this echo chamber of a room.
God, yeah.
And that we're each a couple beers in. So
I actually like it. It provides like a nice reverb.
Nice little natural ambiance. Reverb. Evolution is a mystery. I see a light in the sand.
I love that song so much.
Fucking, I love that song.
Such a great song. God.
Fucking, I just like
Motorhead.
God damn it. I've been listening to so much Motorhead recently.
You have?
Yeah.
Do you like it? Is it like, okay. Motorhead.
Yes.
Tangent here.
Okay.
I have always liked Motorhead, and I've liked the idea of Motorhead. Listening to more than 5 Motorhead songs in a row, I don't know. I would do it, but at the same time, everything to me just kind of blends into each other?
You got to go different time frames in their career.
Okay.
Because if you listen to like the albums like that were kind of sequential, like if
Ace of Spades,
and the one after that, I'm trying to remember the fucking name, but it wasn't Orgasmatron. It was one or two before that. They had a prog metal album in the middle of there too.
they had a prog metal album.
Yeah, because they got the guy from Thin Lizzy in the band for a little while.
Oh.
But anywho, the key with Motorhead is, don't listen to if this also depends on what kind of music fan you are. Because some music fans, they're cool with like an album being kind of repetitive because it shows very much where they're in that time frame.
Sure.
Does Motorhead lean a little bit into that? Maybe a little bit, kind of a Ramones thing. I mean, where Ramones kind of like have that kind of same songy feel, especially earlier Ramones.
Yeah.
Motorhead kind of had that album to album, but the secret is to really like break it up a little bit. So if you're gonna really sample Motorhead, don't sample everything off the same album because then you get the point out of the first three songs.
Right.
I like Rock and Roll. I think that's some cool stuff on there. People talk very highly of Sacrifice. That's an album that people really enjoy. There's a lot of good Motorhead stuff. There really is. But kind of like the mid '80s is where I like Motorhead. The album Rock and Roll was they have one song, All For You, where they actually just unironically use the 4 chords of pop, and I'm like, Motorhead, what are you doing?
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? They went through some interesting times. They actually played I forgot what year it was, but they came out with a live album recently.
Really?
They played a jazz festival. And they were the only rock/metal band at the jazz festival. And they come out and Lemmy says, "Hello, Jazz Festival. We are Motorhead, and we play rock and roll." It was like, why are they playing jazz festivals at the time?
That's so weird. But the thing is, Motorhead was always so down to do whatever.
Yeah.
Like they were one of the bands who really got big based on the relentless touring all over the world, particularly in the UK.
Yeah.
They're
they're gods in the UK.
Exactly.
Obviously. Yeah.
And I am. Excuse me. A lot of burps going on.
Do you need another beer, sir?
You know what? Another beer would be nice.
Reach into the beer bag.
Oh no, reaching into the bag.
Into the beer bag. What you gonna get this
For
time?
eagle-eyed listeners to be like, God, did they record 4 shows in that recession? It's like,
We did. And I can't believe we're on the 4th today. That's crazy.
Yeah, the time's kind of flying here.
I know.
If I pick another Montauk Summer, I'm putting it back down. June Shine.
Hard kombucha.
I'm putting this back.
Hard kombucha.
Narragansett.
No, oh, look, a Narragansett tall boy.
No, I'm not a pussy. I'll take
No, it's fine. Drink the Narragansett.
What the hell? Wait, why is the label upside down?
Let me see. Wait, is it upside down?
Well, look at this
Maybe
shit.
they printed it wrong. Oh.
The label's upside down.
Is that on here? No, it's fine here. Because I'm drinking one of those right now. It's like a mango-y.
It says flip can to activate.
Oh, because there's probably a lot of shit at the bottom. So you got to like... Oh,
Never mind, I am a weenie.
Narragansett tall boy. There you go.
Uh-oh. I did a no-no.
What did you do?
I peeked in the bag.
No.
I see things in the bag. There's a lot of stuff in this bag.
There's
I
a
like.
lot of stuff.
Holy
in the
shit!
bag.
There's a lot in this bag. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, I filled it up. It's another Narragansett tall boy.
That's another Nary.
I think there are at least 4 Narragansett tall boys in this beer bag.
You've had these for almost a year.
Yep. I've had them since All Out 2022 AEW.
Jesus Christ, that was last summer.
Yeah, they've aged very well, I think. Narragansett is the same as wine, technically.
What the fuck show are we talking about again?
Oh yeah. So she
Oh yeah, you like this show.
Yeah, she reads a book. So RAELIANA, well, this girl gets pushed off the roof, right?
Yes,
She dies.
Rinko is her name.
Rinko dies. She wakes up as RAELIANA McMillan.
Yep. And she's like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, because she wakes up in this fantasy world. That
Not even really a fantasy world, just like a medievalish
it's
world.
an old English world.
It's a world not her own.
Yes.
But like I do specify fantasy because when you say fantasy, people think elves and dragons
Right.
and shit.
There's none of that shit. It's,
Yeah,
it's all people.
I had to get pedantic. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. It's fine. So she wakes
I'm
up.
also a weenie, so I get pedantic about everything.
That's fine. Hey, drink your beer. All right?
Sweet, I will. Thank you.
Yeah, good.
Should I go for that or you got Brooklyn Lager?
Oh
here
yeah,
too?
we got some Brooklyn Lager in there. Yeah, whichever. Oh, I didn't bring a bottle opener. So
I got one in my pocket.
Oh, you do? Always coming prepared.
Of course there's a bottle opener.
Always
in my
coming. ... prepared. So she wakes up and has orange hair. She wakes up and she has orange hair.
Oh, don't we all wish that could happen?
And I do actually. She
You
wakes
just
up.
love orange.
I do love orange. It's a great color, my favorite color, the best color. And she wakes up and her hair is the best color in the
Orange
world.
and blue sneakers I really like.
I do. You really like them?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're good sneakers.
That's sweet.
I mean, they're opposite colors, so they technically don't go together. I use the air quotes, but the thing is, like, they provide such bright contrast that it's kind of a nice
It's
visual.
It's kind of like the inverse of like yellow and purple. Like I feel like those colors work together, but they look like they shouldn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, colors are whichever you make them.
Knicks colors, Lakers colors.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I always just loved
sports.
what's it called? Of course, I always think yellow and black because I fucking love Striper.
Yeah. Oh
Just-
well. I mean,
just like Chris
you
Jericho.
have a guitar that does that.
Oh yeah, I have Michael Sweet's signature
Yes.
model because that guitar is also. Even if I wasn't a fan of Striper, I'd still probably buy the guitar.
It's nice.
It sounds incredible.
I'm not a fan. I'm like not a big Striper fan. I know of them and I like a few songs, but I would probably still buy that guitar.
Oh, the guitar is sexy as fuck, and those active pickups, the active Seymour Duncans,
It's great.
fire. Yeah,
great.
You could tell what guitar I'm playing whenever we play live based on like how, because like when I'm using my Epiphone Paul, you have to turn up the amp a little bit. When I'm fucking using the Washburn,
Baby screams.
I have to like turn it down. 'Cause it's so loud.
Yeah. So she wakes up in her bed. So she wakes up and she has orange hair. Yeah. And she immediately realizes, she's like, oh, I'm RAELIANA McMillan and I'm in this book that I read. So she's like, she loves this fantasy novel or this like, whatever.
Mystery novel, yeah.
Mystery, Old English mystery novel.
She's very aware of her surroundings, which I really like.
Yes. And that's...
So it demonstrates her cunning
Yes.
right away.
And I think that is a specific part of this isekai that I really enjoy, that she knows everything pretty much in this world. And like she gets curveballs thrown at her throughout that she's like, oh, I didn't know about that. Or, oh, that doesn't happen in the book. So, so essentially, her character is supposed to marry this like absolute dick guy who
wants to kill her.
and
actually does kill her in the book.
Yes, in the book, she knows that her fiance kills her. So she the whole time is like, well, I have to break off my engagement then.
Yes.
So basically, she has to remove the narrative of the book early on as soon as she gets in, because she's like, RAELIANA McMillan in the book dies. I am now RAELIANA McMillan, and I do not, she states very clearly early on, I do not want to die twice. I've already died in the real world.
I'm not doing it again.
I'm not dying here too. So she has to work her way out of this narrative that she's been kind of ensnared in. Mm-hmm. And long story short, she gets acclimated to the world. She like meets people. She meets her parents. She does all that. She knows a lot about the world, which I think is really fun, because when she does explainer scenes, when she's like, oh, that's this guy and he's from this and that, it's not too much.
Honestly, that was actually my problem with the show.
Really?
Unfortunately, the first couple episodes, one of my notes here, because I actually took notes for this one, was, is this a fucking audiobook? Show, don't tell. Because the thing is, I felt like she was reading stuff too much, to your point here. Like, she was telling me events more so than letting them happen.
I see. And I kind of get that, but I did like it. I think I liked it in a comparatively to other stories where maybe the main character just gives you a lot of exposition, but doesn't really have any like, or there's like a narrator, or like why is there a narrator? There doesn't need to be a narrator here. Just let it happen. Okay. But her in this context, she read the whole book. So my thing here is like, if she's explaining something, it's because that she just genuinely understands what's happening and she's explaining it. Yeah. At least that's as far as I got. There's a lot of like internal monologue here.
I think there's a lot of internal. And
there is a lot of internal
I would have preferred
monologue.
they interspliced it more with some of her emotional reactions. They did it more so in episodes 2 and 3.
Yeah.
But I felt like episode 1 was a little dense in terms
You're right. It was very dense in terms of like the exposition of it all, and it was just like, here's just the dump. Like, I'm going to give you all the information that you need
right off the bat.
Yeah. So I get it. But she's about to marry this guy, and so she has to break off the engagement. And he's like, "Why do you want to break off the engagement?" And she's like, "Well,
you're a douche.
You're gonna murder me. And I don't want that. So let's break off the engagement." So eventually, the way that she does break off the engagement is by starting to hang out with this devilish Duke Devlin.
Duke Devlin. One of my notes about the Duke goes, see if I can find it real quick. God damn it, phone, stop bugging out on me.
Duke Noah Voltaire Winknight. And they all have
Sexy
very,
name.
very British sexy names.
Why is the Duke ... hot?
The Duke is hot. And
He's got that kind of velvety English voice where
he
it's
does.
like, hello, my darling.
And I don't know if you watched sub or dub.
I went dub.
I also went dub.
Yeah.
Because the guy's voice, Ian Sinclair, voices Noah Winwright in this.
I know that name.
And he is exceptional. He does a great job, and he's got great voice for this role. I think.
Totally. He's honed in this character.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, he's done a fuck ton for across Funimation and stuff like that previously.
Even I recognize that name. So
Yes.
I'm like, oh, hello there.
Yep. Yeah,
Oh,
he's done a hell of a lot of stuff. He actually was a voice in Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury too. I don't know whose voice he was.
Really?
But he's listed that as a credit.
Ah,
Yeah.
I'm going to look that up again.
Rajon. Maybe it's like a later guy or like one of the older guys, maybe the dad or something.
Could be. I've heard actually a lot of positive reviews about Witch from Mercury right now.
Me too. And it's weird because I didn't like it.
Yeah, no, like
For our 3-episode
The first
rule.
3 episodes did not grab me.
It didn't. No, it just felt very like, I don't know, contrived. It was very like school academy robot kind of thing. And I was like, all right, well,
It was a little.
I've seen this done better.
It was a little tough just because the high school scenes really dragged it down because the conference room politics scenes were good.
Great.
And the robot scenes looked sick.
Yes.
So the high school shit really dragged it down. But I've heard positive reviews. So I'm like, fuck, do I have to give it another chance?
Maybe we got to rewatch it again.
A redo of Gundam Witch from Mercury?
A redo. Yeah.
Heal.
Yeah.
Raeliana's just,
Get out of my salmon bushes.
why? This episode's got off the rails enough.
We are salmon bushing this episode so hard. I'm making that a verb. We are salmon bushing the hell out of this episode.
What does that even? Okay, just like we're just.
Just completely going out of lane, out of tangent. We are just out of here with this episode right now.
Get out of my... I'm turning red. I feel myself turning red because you brought up fucking salmon bushes. I've watched that clip at least 1,500 times. Because I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Just like, hey, would it be funny if a dog kept going to the guy's bushes, but it was salmon? It's like, hey, get out of my salmon bushes.
You grow salmon out of bushes. Sir.
It's just so fucking funny.
Oh, God.
It's kind of funny. The show is actually proving hard to talk about because it's a very straightforward...
It is straightforward. There's not really much that happens that makes me angry or gives me any kind of like emotion.
Oh, but I do feel like we didn't mention one thing here. This is... in a couple different genres here, our first to cover. This is meant for older girls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for like not... Probably like in their 20s. Mm-hmm. Funny enough, this is actually our first originally Korean production.
Yes, it is originally Korean.
I found that very fascinating.
Yes. Yeah, me too.
I've only read a few manhwa or other Korean publications in my time. This was originally a Korean web novel. Mm-hmm. And now the manhwa, which is a Korean equivalent to manga, is being produced as we speak. And so I found that kind of fascinating to see anime take a whenever an anime takes a non-Japanese story and adapts it, I always find it very fascinating.
It's intriguing. And I agree. I mean, like... The thing was, like, I think in general, it just presented like a good show. Yeah. I don't know. It was like it
wasn't really that anime.
No, it wasn't. It didn't really lean into any of like the big time anime tropes, and that's kind of what I liked about it. Except for being an isekai.
It was a little subtle with the anime tropes, honestly.
It was.
Obviously, isekai was a big one, but some of the over-exaggerated reactions and everything else was kind of subdued.
Yes, they were subdued. I think like things about like everybody being like, having big eyes and stuff like that. And I think like the art specifically of RAELIANA's younger sisters or younger sister was just like, oh my God, you're so cute. Like every time she came up in a scene, I think that was pretty anime, but everything else was pretty much just like, oh, this is just like a good narrative show, but done in anime world.
Yeah, but done in anime at the same time. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. And as they got going along, right, she eventually breaks off her engagement with that guy, and because she enlists the help of the Duke,
the
and the Duke is helping her. And much like this is exactly where it goes back to Bridgerton, because in Bridgerton there is kind of a there's a girl who has come of age and is looking to marry.
Okay,
and she she goes through like suitors and stuff, and she doesn't want to marry anybody. But she wants to still be seen as desirable,
right?
For the next wedding season, because if she's not seen as desirable, nobody will wed her, and she can't have that.
No.
So she also starts getting in cahoots with the Duke, because the Duke comes into town, and he also wants to be single. So he wants to be seen as like, okay, he's settling down, and he's not like being like an insane, like, fucking everything on the side of the street Duke anymore. So he wants a better reputation, and she wants the idea that she's dating somebody of merit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they decide to create this
deal,
faux relationship and like a deal. The exact same thing, essentially, that's happening in this show.
Yeah, it's the same.
That RAELIANA and the Duke agree to start dating each other and be engaged in public, but in private, go about their business. Because the Duke is kind of concerned with this like royal seal, and she says, "I know where to find your royal seal."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you've piqued the Duke's interest." And then they get into a room.
You slipped into your
Tristan Timothy Taylor.
Alpha 9. Iota.
Yeah.
You zipped on that a little bit.
Yeah.
The royal seal, because there was like a whole thing of classism here. A little bit of trying to keep like new nobles out.
Right.
And not grant new families royal status. Like, so they talk about the conservative parties involved. So it got a little muddied for me. I mean, I guess I might have also just been glossed over. I'm like, wait, what just happened?
It did get a little muddy, I think. Towards like in the third episode specifically, I was like, okay. So they were having this conversation with RAELIANA and the Duke in the Duke's like quarters, and they were agreeing to the terms of the deal. And I was like, so I get why RAELIANA wants to do this, because she wants to get out of her engagement.
Right.
Why does the Duke want to do this? Was kind of my instinct, because he was like, where the royal seal is, and she was like, yeah, well, I know you have the royal seal, and he was like, no, I don't.
Yeah, he just bullface lied the entire time, like, fuck you, girl.
And then he still agrees to be engaged.
There's something else she said. There was like you addressed it. The scene was pretty clever, where she said something else, and he was like, hold on. What I think was the exact words. Yeah. And then they formed a partnership of sorts.
Yes. And they did. They signed a contract.
But I also love how, that the Duke the entire time was like, so we're masquerading. Can we, like, bone?
Yeah.
And she's like, no.
And he's like, I need you to be my fiance in public and in the bedroom. And she's like, I need to go to bed.
It's like, I am not going to bone you. And he's like, aw, shucks, Scoop. Yeah. Jinkies.
And he's like, but I'm so attractive. Don't you like the way that I speak in my eyes?
But I'm so hot. If you just look at me for more than 2 seconds, those panties will hit the floor like a wet wad of paper towels. Oh, God.
It's an ad for Bounty. This is all an ad for Bounty.
The quicker picker-upper.
Yeah, but that's the Duke and their relationship, basically. And like in the third episode, I think she kind of just spends more time at the Duke's mansion, because she gets to the Duke's mansion.
Yes.
Because he's like, if we're going to be engaged, you got to live in my mansion. Essentially answers the question of the anime, why RAELIANA ended up at the Duke's mansion.
The question's been answered by episode 3.
This is why she ended up at the Duke's mansion. Yeah. Because they're engaged. And she's kind of living at the mansion, and she's given a bodyguard, Adam Taylor.
Loved him.
He was great.
I loved the scene with because the entire time Taylor's just standing there doing nothing, saying nothing, and they reveal like kind of offhand, like, yeah, he was a child soldier. Like, okay,
yeah, all right.
But then they outlawed though, so now he's the bodyguard. It's like, okay, good, I guess. Because RAELIANA's little sister Rose, at one point, she lets go of a balloon, and she's really upset because he gets caught in a tree. RAELIANA's like, why are you upset? And she's like, but that carries all my wishes for you to have a happy wedding and to have a beautiful family. And then this was great. Taylor cuts the very end of the balloon out, or cuts the very end of the balloon off that's stuck in the tree, so the balloon just starts cascading into the sky.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, thank you. And then they just give Taylor like a bag of chocolate-covered walnuts. And they're like, you have a sweet tooth. And he's like,
He's like the very, very soft-spoken quiet
Yes.
type and stuff. And at that moment, I was like, okay, I get this how this could have been Korean.
Yeah.
Because in like K-dramas, there's always like the very soft-spoken, like you got to work hard to get to him kind of type.
Gotcha.
And I think that's what that guy is for this show.
Gotcha.
And I think he's
I
going
have
to be
virtually no experience with K-drama, so I can't really attest to it.
I think from what I gather, I think he's going to be a great character going forward too. Because we're going to learn a lot more about him and like get to more of like in depth of like who he is and like what he wants and stuff. But yeah, I liked his character too, and that whole third episode is just basically like RAELIANA spending time around the Duke's mansion and kind of like figuring out what her new life is there.
And then she got styled.
Yeah. Oh, of course. As with, I almost forgot to mention, the first Isekai that we watched this month in Cheatskill, we had a metrosexual stylist. This time we're watching RAELIANA. That also has a metrosexual stylist. We are 2 for 4.
Yep, we'll see how we
50%.
We have 2 more on the docket, and we'll see if there's more stylists showing in with all their flamboyant wonder.
Could be. And at the end of the third episode, basically what happens is that the Duke is like, well, since you're my fiance, I have a ball to go to.
Yeah.
And I need you to attend as my fiance. And she's like, what? And the big thing that I think we're waiting on in this show is that her character, RAELIANA's character, was supposed to die in the book.
Right.
She didn't.
Nope.
Now she's dating the Duke. But there's another character that's friends with RAELIANA who apparently ends up with the Duke, and her entire story arc in the book
is based around her death.
Is based around RAELIANA's death and like investigating and, you know, ousting the guy that did it and stuff.
Yeah.
But that character hasn't come into play yet. So I'm intrigued if that character is going to come into play at this ball, make an appearance, pull a Serena Vanderwoodson and a Gossip Girl and come down the big stairs on the ball, you know?
No, I don't know.
Yeah. But I do.
But I do.
So I'm thinking that that's where we have to go with this. All in all, at the end of the 3 episodes, I kind of going to echo what I said up top. I really loved it, and it was very not anime. It was very much like this is just a show that got animated, you know?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I don't know. I thought it was pretty great. I have minor complaints. I think there was like a little muddiness in terms of like the Royal Seal stuff and why they're exactly together.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of like the drama and the politics and like the family drama, it's very like what you would expect of like any of those old English type drama shows.
Yeah.
In like a medieval-esque kind of time period, you know?
Like kind
nobles.
of Victorian.
Yeah, Victorian time period.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing that kind of left me floored and not knowing how to really review this one at all because it's so outside the anime realm.
It is.
And Isekai realm. It's just basically like an English, like I said, English royal drama.
Right.
So I have no fucking idea how to approach this one. I really don't.
Yeah.
And I'm watching, I'm like...
It was very interesting.
Like, again, the only problem I actually had with the show was the first episode where they got a little too heavy with dumping a bunch of exposition.
Sure.
That was my only real problem with the show. Other than that, looks good. RAELIANA is, like, fun and kind of sassy.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Rinko every once in a while, like, popping out, going like, yeah, I'm still here. It's like, thank you for reminding me.
Right.
Duke's a lot of fun. I love Taylor. So, I mean, I think I just have to keep riding this one. I think I do. I think I got to stick with it just because I don't know what the fuck this is.
Yeah.
Because this is my first time really with like a royal English drama, so I'm like, fuck it, let me give it a shot.
It's like more, it's less that I want to, it's less that it's like an anime and more that it's just like a regular thing. And I'm like, oh, I mean, it's just good. It's just good. I don't know. Like it works.
You're just genuinely excited.
I just like it. Yeah. I'm in. Like I'm in for it. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep watching the episodes as they come out, I think.
Well, nice.
And it'll be like a fun thing to do on the side. And like I'll see how it ends up. Maybe I'll wane off it somewhere. Like they still have the ability to lose me.
Okay, got it.
But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think for now I'm gonna listen to your recommendation and you'll tell me if it keeps getting good or not.
I'll let you know.
Thank you.
It's weird that we have to quantify it as an isekai, but it also is an isekai.
It totally is.
So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with like the real world section of this too, because she still's got to figure out who killed her in the real world.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see that over time. Maybe we won't.
That's the thing. Sometimes these guys completely forget about the role aspect entirely.
And they just kind of are like, okay, well, it's been 3 episodes. You forgot about it. So have we.
Yeah, it's like it's this. You were Japanese. Now you're not.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, anyways, stay out of my salmon bushes. That was RAELIANA, or actually, let me give you the full title again. Why RAELIANA Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion. And that was our second Isekai of the month.
I can't wait to see where the rest of this month brings us. Now get out of my salmon bushes.
Give us a Metro stylist.
In my salmon bushes.
In my salmon bushes.
It's bad.
Wow, oh my god, what a rousing podcast of anime conversation. Am I right, my compares? Am I right, my weebdom? Anywho, yeah, you can send us a message if you want. Did you like this podcast? Did you hate this podcast? Do you want to kill me? Do you want to drench me in Calaxosaur blood and watch me drink it? That's fine. Just send us an email at badanimepod@gmail.com or DM us on our Instagram at badanimepod, all one word. You can also find us on YouTube as Bad Anime, and you could leave a comment on whatever video you want to leave a comment on. We'll read them all anyways. We don't care. I love you. Kiss, kiss.
Simple Equations Podcast Network.